Hey everybody, so many people come to the Philippines for the beautiful beaches, the wonderful people. They come here to have a good time and they don't expect a lot of problems. They come here for a great vacation, but I've been here over 3 years and I've seen my fair share of accidents, people getting sick, and foreigners getting in trouble here in the Philippines, crimes against foreigners, crimes against other Filipinos. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your personal safety. I want to talk about how to maintain safety, some health issues a lot of people have here, and I also want to talk to you about crimes against foreigners. A lot of the common mistakes a lot of solo travelers have here in the Philippines is they wander by themselves. You know, here in Negros, right up here in Valencia, 6 experienced hikers who knew what they were doing, who have hiked many of the trails up here in the mountains above Valencia. And that's where we are right now, in the mountains above Valencia. They got lost for 3 days and 2 nights. Man, what a nightmare that was. And the government had to send out rescue parties to find them. Guys, you gotta have a guide. You go hiking, especially you don't know where you're going, but everybody should have a guide if you leave the main road or the main worn trail that many people have walked on, maybe a trail that goes to a waterfall, very popular trail. But if you decide to go out on your own, you're looking for trouble. And the other thing a lot of solo travelers are doing, they're renting motorcycles. They're renting these little scooters or motorbikes, and they're traveling. And they're not just traveling one city. They're getting on these ro-ro ferries, and they're going island to island. And I see a lot of guys who are headed down to Mindanao. Man, you know, in a city is one thing. You know, you're in a big city, you know, Davao, General Santos, CDO, even Dumaguete or Cebu City. You're around people and a lot of traffic, but it's safe. When you decide to go out into the province and you're going down a concrete road that you think is a main road, and all of a sudden it turns to mud, it's a dirt road, and you keep going, and now you're deep into the province, you're in the jungle, you don't know who you're going to run into. What if you get lost? And make sure you have some sort of GPS or map, and make sure it's the kind Google map without internet. Because a lot of times you'll run into an area that has no connection to the data or the internet. Janet and I rented a motorbike when we were in Alona Beach, and we wanted to go to the Chocolate Mountains. We made a turn somewhere, and all of a sudden there was a fork in the road. There were 3 different directions we could have gone, left, right, or straight, and no signal. We lost which way to go. So we went the way we thought was best, and it ended up being 2.5 hours longer than if we would have gone the correct way. Because we didn't have Google Maps hooked up on our phone correctly, where you can use it without internet. Traveling by yourself without a guide, it's dangerous if you get lost. You never know who's around the next corner. Just like traveling down in Chicago. You get on a dark road in the wrong part of Chicago, and it's a one-way, and it's a dead end, and you just don't know what's going to happen. Same thing can happen here. There's always somebody trying to separate you from your money. This is personal safety. Also, what if you get a flat tire and you're so far from everybody? Make sure you have a good SIM card hooked up to the local internet service here so you can call for help. Don't rely on just your U.S. phone to do that. Make sure you have all the precautions. Get a physical map if you're really traveling deep into the wilderness here. I call it deep into the jungle, deep into the province, especially in the Mindanao area. That's a big island, and some bad things have happened to tourists there in the past. Accidents on your motorbike, it happens all the time. You're not used to the laws here. You're not used to the habits everybody has traveling here in the Philippines. So make sure your personal safety is taken care of. Don't get lost. Don't get lost on a hike. Don't get lost on your bike. Make sure you know where the nearest hospitals are, medical care, and have some contact information on your phone. And also have contact information written down somewhere in case you're hurt so bad that people can't talk to you, but they could find that contact information to call one of your loved ones to let them know where you are. And if you go swimming in the ocean, man, be careful out here. We have jellyfish, we have riptides, the current. People drown all the time. I see it on Facebook. You know, the local expat groups will post a news article out of Manila of somebody drowning in one of the islands. Most of the time it's locals, but it can be foreigners also. You're not used to that area. If you're at a resort, swim in the area of the resort. Tells you it's safe to swim. Better yet, swim in a swimming pool. Swimming in the ocean is nothing like swimming in a swimming pool. Those jellyfish can sting you. There's a lot of things out there that can bite you. You could step on a sea urchin and get a big infection. So be careful, guys. Be careful traveling, swimming, hiking. Just be careful. The second part of this video, we're going to talk about your health, and I'm going to talk a little bit about HIV and STDs. Now, there's been a big upswing in reported HIV and STDs. I'm going to say that's because now they're starting to test more than they used to test. I think it's always been a problem here. I've known 2 foreigners who have had to get treatment for something, you know, the drip or whatever it is, and or a bad itch. After being with one of the local girls. It's always been here. It's just being reported more. Take precautions, guys. A few of you guys like to play around with the lady boys. Be careful. That's the sector of the population that it's increasing the most in. So, guys, be careful with the STDs. Think hard before you do something. Some ways that you can prevent the passing of diseases. We're all grown men. We know how to do this. It's not voodoo to talk about it, but it's something I'm uncomfortable with. So take your precautions. Be careful. And if you can see she's been around a lot, think that she's already infected, and anything you do with her is going to infect you also. Before you leave your home country, make sure you get all the vaccinations you need. Make sure you got hepatitis, especially A and B. Hopefully you have vaccinated already for measles. A lot of different things here that you can catch. You know, this is a developing country. There's a lot of places where there's not a lot of people been vaccinated, especially this monkeypox and measles that is coming up. If you can, and don't forget shingles, guys. A lot of us older guys get shingles. If you haven't had your shingles shots yet, get those. It's going to save you a lot of pain later in life. I want to talk about food and water safety. If you're not used to street food, don't start eating a lot of street food. Be careful with that. Eat the food. Make sure it's prepared right. You know, I'm always worried about refrigeration here in the Philippines. Food can be out for a long time. A lot of these Candelarias on the side of the road, these little eateries, you don't see big refrigerators back there. You don't see big freezers. If you're traveling, pick more of the resort areas, places where you feel a little bit more comfortable eating at. And water, bottled water, guys. Ice cubes, be careful. Ice cubes, they might be made with non-purified water. You don't want to get Gardia. Gardia is a stomach problem, a parasite that you get from contaminated water. This is the drinking water here. Maybe brushing your teeth in that water. An ice cube, but once you get it, man, it can make you really sick. I've talked to a couple of guys who've had this, and they didn't even realize they had it. They're sweating, you know, they're dehydrated, they're running to the bathroom all the time. It's just a terrible feeling. You're wheezy, they had really wet diarrhea. If you feel like you have something, go see the doctor right away. They can treat it. But man, don't put it off for 1, 2, 3 days. Go to one of these. If you're in the province, find a little clinic. They're used to treating this stuff. If you're in the bigger cities, go to the emergency room. Get some treatment. Pay the couple bucks it takes to get treated. It's a terrible problem to have. And I'm going to read off some of the symptoms for you. It's watery diarrhea, gas and bloating, stomach cramps, nausea, weight loss, fatigue. Some people have no symptoms at all, but still can affect others. This is a contagious disease. You can pass it on to someone you're traveling with. So please get treatments. I'll read off the list of riskier places or riskier things you do that would cause you to get this. Smaller towns and islands where water treatment is limited, street food washed or prepped with unfiltered water, hotel or restaurant ice, especially outside major cities, and brushing your teeth with tap water. If you're in the province, get bottled water for everything. I use bottled water even in the house for my brushing my teeth. I have a bottle, I open the cap, get my toothbrush wet. I use it to rinse and spit and take the precautions you need. Once you've been here a long time, you sort of get used to everything. But this is bad, guys. Take care of your physical health while you're here in the Philippines. Careful where you swim, motorcycle accidents, hiking accidents. Know where the nearest hospital is, emergency numbers and such. But the biggest safety concern a lot of guys have is this third one, is crimes against foreigners. There's a lot of different crimes I can bring up. There's a lot of channels talking about this. My favorite channel to watch is Asia Now. He seems to be posting every day things that are happening here in the Philippines. Just because he's reporting it doesn't mean it's happening everywhere. This could be happening, one crime could be happening on one island and 2 or 3 days later on a different island. But a lot has been going against the Koreans and Chinese, the Asian men. And it seems the Philippines criminals are always targeting Asian men who are older, who are a little bit more timid. Us guys from the West, Aussies, us, Brits, Canadians, if somebody bothered, we're going to get loud, we're going to get boisterous, we're going to push back, where older Asian men are a little bit more timid and seem to be an easier target for these people. I've seen Koreans be very careful where they're walking. They have their front backpack and they're carrying it tight like this. They're always on the lookout. They seem to be an easy target, but it's because there's so many Koreans here that they are an easy target, and they like to flash their money. One Korean was shot and killed up in Cebu area because he had 200,000 pesos on him. Now that's $4,000. That's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money to somebody who doesn't have any. Desperate people do desperate things. Kidnappings. There's been issues of, Koreans or Chinese wealthy businessmen kidnapped. What you have to do to protect yourself from being kidnapped and being a victim is look poor. Don't have a lot of money. I'm going to give you one example. Like me in my pocket, I got 10,000 pesos with me right now. In one pocket, I have 550 pesos. And I use that when I go to buy water or I grab a sandwich or something. The other pocket with that money is in case of emergency. I hit somebody or the motorcycle breaks for whatever reason. Don't flash your money. I never pulled that 10,000 out, even though that's not a lot of money to someone who doesn't have any. That's a lot of money. And watch out for fake officials, fake policemen, and what they call fixers. Fixers who will say they can get you a driver's license, get you an immigration card, and they end up getting you a fake ID. It looks like a driver's license. It looks like an ACR card, but it's not. It's fake. And when the real authorities see it, they're going to know, and they're going to come down on you about it. So guys, be careful. Some of the common things that can happen to you here is the back rider, the motorcycles that have two riders. They got a guy in the front, one in the back. They both got helmets with shields. You can't see them. Most of the time, you don't see them coming. You're walking one direction, and they come behind you. Make sure your backpack is not on your back. It's in your front if you have your valuables with you, and you can hold on to it, or at least have it secure. The other one I want to warn you about with the backpack is Jan and I walked through Cebu, and these little cute girl beggars that come up. They have little towels they want to sell you, and you think they're real innocent and cute. You give them a couple pesos or something. But Jan and I were at the red light, and we were getting ready to cross the street, and I looked over, and this little girl, who couldn't be no more than 6, 7 years old, on her toes, looking into Janet's backpack, trying to pull out her spray bottle of alcohol, just trying to steal whatever she could steal. Think how it is with the older ones, the pickpockets. Don't have your phone in the back pocket. Put your phone in your front pocket. Put your money in your front pocket. Nothing should be in your back pocket, so nobody can pick it. If you wear cargo pants, which is the best way to travel, they're shorts, they have multiple pockets, and they have a lot in the front. They have the 2 regular pockets, then they have 2 pockets, one above each knee, that either with Velcro, a button, or a zipper. Best way to protect yourself. Make it hard for pickpockets. And man, watch your belongings. If it's only you and you got to go to the restroom, don't leave your phone on the table. Don't do that. You just don't know what's going to happen. 99.9% of everybody here is nice, and they're not going to steal from you. But it's that 0.01 who will. They'll ruin your vacation or you stay here in the Philippines. And if you like, the bar life and you're going to nightclubs, you're the single guy and you're doing all this, man, they can get you drunk and shit can happen to you when you're drunk. So be really careful. And the newest thing that I've heard, and this happened in Las Vegas and it's happening here now, when the girl gets you to the hotel room, they do everything with you. You think everything's good, but the first chance they get, they open your wallet. They don't take nothing. They take a picture of your credit and debit cards, front and back, your ID, front and back. So they have all this information. They really don't need your physical card to charge things or to transfer money. These thieves are pretty smart. So be careful. Even you have somebody in a strange room with you, or you have a stranger in your room, don't let your wallet out of sight till you get to know this person. Be cautious at all times. I'd rather be on the wrong side and being more careful with somebody and not completely trusting them and be wrong, finding out later they were so trustworthy, than to find out they were not trustworthy and they ripped me off. So be careful, guys. If this helped you, give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. This channel is about real talk for men over 60 who are starting over, retiring abroad, and trying to do it smart. Drop a comment if you've had a close call or you got a safety tip for the next guy. And remember, paradise is still paradise if you keep your eyes open. And until next time.